Everyone, and welcome to Asking an Attorney with Boswell Law Firm. I am Doina Boswell O'Shell, and I am the owner and CEO of Boswell Law Firm. So today I thought we would talk about property. So we have crazy things that are going on in the world right now, including, in Houston. That doesn't happen very often. So everybody make sure that you stay safe. You want to protect the three P's: your pipes, your pets, and your property. And the property just made me think of what I commonly hear from individuals that I speak with is that we don't really have any property, or everything's titled in my spouse's name, so we don't have any community property. And that seems to be a common belief or a myth that's out there. And it's just not true. That's not how the Texas courts view property. So the courts will take a stance of everything that the parties own when you go to trial for your divorce is community property. That is the presumption that they take. So it is up to whichever spouse is trying to say we have separate property to prove to the court that it is indeed separate property. So what's the difference between the two? So community property is anything that you get during the marriage, any property you accumulate during the marriage, unless you get it by somebody leaving it to you when they pass away or as a gift. So if you have a parent that gives you a car, that would be your separate property, even if you are married at the time of the gift, unless they specifically say that it's for both you and your spouse. So everything else that you buy during the marriage is community property. And what courts will do is they will look at when title was gotten, when you bought it, and when title was signed, or if you can prove, the date of acquisition. That's what the courts are going to look at, and then they're going to say, as of that date, what were the status of the parties? Were they single? Were they married at that point? Then they will say, how was the property obtained? Did they purchase it, or was it gotten from somebody giving them a gift, or somebody passing away and leaving it to them? So that's how the courts will go about determining community and separate property. So if you'll notice, nowhere in there is the court going to look at the a deed or a title or anything else that is contrary to other evidence. Now, one other thing that they're going to look at is if you have any kind of a marital agreement, which I spoke about last week. You can actually agree with your spouse that you're not going to create any community property if that is how you wish to handle property that is gained during the marriage. And there's some very good reasons for doing that, which I discussed last week. So I encourage you to go watch that video if you're interested to learn more. But the main point is just because we have a deed or a car title or a bank account or anything like that that is in the name of only one spouse does not automatically make it unattainable for the other spouse to get their share of that marital asset. So it's very important that you know your rights and you know when the property was gotten. And there are some other causes that can be brought if you find that there's property that was bought for a spouse's boyfriend or girlfriend. There's fraud on the community and some other things that can bring that property back into the estate for the distribution between the two parties. So that's basically it in a nutshell. It's a pretty simple concept, but it can really change lives, especially if we have one spouse that's a victim of abuse. They typically will be not put on deeds or not put on titles or not put on bank accounts. They may have cards that are out there. And so this is a way for them to discover that and not lose out on those items just because they're titled in someone else's name. So hopefully this has helped some of you out there that thought that that you didn't want to be in because you didn't know what was going to happen and you thought you would lose everything that you have. It's not necessarily the case. I would suggest that you reach out and speak to an attorney that you trust and just find out your rights. Also, on our website, we have a free divorce planning checklist. You're welcome to go and download that, and that'll help you just know kind of some things that you need to plan for ahead of time. So, as always, we're here. We're happy to answer any questions at any time with no obligations. Um, we just really like to make sure that everybody knows their rights and um, gets fair settlements in court. So once again, Dwayne Boswell O'Shell, and you can reach out to me at service@boswelltexaslaw.com, or you can visit our website at www.boswelltexaslaw.com. I look forward to hearing from you, and as always, if you have any questions or suggestions for a topic you'd like to hear, just send them over to me, and you may see them here one week on the Facebook Lives at 11:30. Have a great weekend, and everybody stay warm and safe.